GM's 24th of Feb 2024, and Solandy has gone and made a Solana recovery tool. You can use this if you had any issues, such as going to a website and them taking authority of your particular address. I won't dive into this too much, but if you need it, use it and support them, send them some Sol, etc. Flexlend, I keep on mentioning Flexlend because people keep on asking me where you can get decent yield on USDC, and Flexlend is the answer. It's fantastic, and there's 200 million when in rewards for existing users of Flexlend and new users through our Saga dApp. So go and, if you have a Saga, go and use it. It's very, very simple. Details on how to start earning when below, but basically very simple. Deposit 100 USDC or 100 USDT and leave the deposit active for a minimum of 14 days. This relates to the Saga. deBridge has created a token, maybe there's going to be an airdrop, and as such, nearly $1 million has been bridged from other chains to Solana via deBridge Finance in the last 24 hours. Now, I hope a lot of this has to do with the fact that people want to come into Solana, but of course, there'll be some people that just want to use the bridge and hopefully get that token in the future. Anyway, I haven't actually used the dApp myself, but I did meet one person from the team, and I think this has quite a clean UI. Let's go over revenue for transaction fees. First, from Tolly, pretty cool since median price per transaction was still a fraction of a penny. But this is really, really cool. So the Solana network revenue from gas fee collected soared 16x in 1 year. This is due to priority fees and also being able to tip the validators with MEV. In February 2023, it was 0.2% of Ethereum's daily gas fees. And in January 2024, Solana's daily gas fees surged to 8% of Ethereum's. So this all relates to, obviously, the MEV that I mentioned. Also, very, very important that you do stake your SOL with a validator that captures some of that MEV, such as validator.com. Go stake with validator.com. But what's really, really cool about this is kind of the first step, I think, in being able to hopefully move towards some sort of system where there's a decent amount of SOL captured every day. And hopefully, maybe within a few years, Solana's actual issuance of Solana tokens will be deflationary, like Ethereum's is. But more on that another day. Here's a big update from Nikki Scans, the CEO of DAA. So hired a new in-house animation team, in talks to hire a marketing consulting company, bought back salaries for team members, increased Twitter presence by 10x, 5 million Giphy views, and very, very good Giphy animations, to be honest. Just basically, just to make it clear, just go to GIF and then just type in DAA, and you'll normally find these sort of things here. I do like this one. It's all a little bit of an algorithm with Giphy, but you can find them in the Degen Ape Academy Giphy account. Yeah, that's cool. All right, back to it. Began toy production with well-known figure company. In production on an animated comic book created by an Emmy Award-winning studio. Bought Degen Trash Pandas back into the DA family. Began production of Pixel Apes. This is not a new collection. Hired a highly competent and crypto-savvy legal team. Approved to be a verified organization on Twitter. In process of hiring a web design studio for codename DAA Dashboard. Thank you for sticking with us. There is so much more to come. Nikki's great. Phantom has introduced Wallet Watcher. So this is really, really cool. I mean, I mentioned this last year with Floor. There's an app called Floor. It tracks NFTs. You can also put in wallet addresses and you can see what those other wallet addresses are doing. Basically, if there's someone that you want to keep an eye on, like as an example, a meme influencer or someone that's really good with NFTs, then just go and find out what their wallet addresses are to the best of your ability and then go and track them. Like this is proper easy alpha, especially someone like NFT Doctor when it's NFT minting season, or if you find someone that's really, really good into DeFi or farming points, just see what that wallet is doing. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work. Like you may have to see things go in or out of the wallet in Phantom, but then you also may need to check it on Step Finance to see what liquidity positions it has. But this is proper alpha with minimal work. And for context, back in 2021, DBank, which is on Ethereum, it's a portfolio tracker as well. People would just follow addresses and then just mimic what they were doing. And if you followed the right address that was, ahead of the game, then it was such a profitable strategy. Same thing applies here. However, if you do not like this sort of thing, or if you don't like people knowing what wallet addresses you have, then you can go and deposit into Backpack, and they also have Backpack Exchange sub-accounts. Also, Backpack is now live in 11 states in the USA, and I don't think it's available in Portugal, so I haven't actually checked it out. Gaimin staking has gone live. So I talk about this quite a bit. It's kind of my conviction play on GMRX. I missed NOS. I don't have any interest in Render. I'm keen for them to do very, very well, but I don't have any interest in that token. There's a lot of EVM AI rendering tokens. There's a Cash out there, which is not an EVM. I think it's on Cosmos. But this, I feel, has a lot more potential. Of course, ideally, you'd have a basket of these things. You'd back 5 horses in the race, right? And hopefully 1 or 2 of them could win. But when it comes to GMRX, I'm pretty excited for this, and I'll cover this more in maybe 1 or 2 weeks. Basket has their airdrop live within 7 days. Here's a full breakdown. I haven't actually gone through everything here, but we can have a look and see of the largest crypto airdrops in the past. And then if we come on down, currently there are 220,000 wallets eligible across 8 different chains for 15% of the basket supply. I mean, this is pretty massive. I think I have to cover this a little bit more, to be honest. But if you don't know what basket is, it's very, very obvious. It's a basket of 30 plus crypto assets in a portfolio doing the work so you don't have to. So what's good for someone coming in is normally brand new. You'd say, oh, buy Bitcoin, oh, buy ETH. And then if you were active in the Solana ecosystem, you might just say, buy Solana and stake it. But then what about the mums and the dads and the people that have no real interest in this? They just want to kind of put a little bit of money in because they trust you as a son, daughter, or young person, or older person, or whatever. They just trust you as a person, and you've given them some non-financial advice. Something like Basket could be very, very good because then they've got access to, basically, it's an ETF, and it's like a basket of things, and if something goes up, something goes down, overall, ideally, in a bull market, prices would go up, and maybe it would be a profitable trade, and maybe it'd be quite a profitable trade. So that's the value proposition of Basket. How to make NFT pre-sales fair and exciting. HelioPay raffles. If there are any good hyped mints coming up, community managers, please go with HelioPay raffles. Honestly, this is the smartest thing. What's happening at the moment is you have a pre-sale link, it goes live, within 1 minute, it's completely full, and it's just pointless. It's so pointless. If you want to get into a new community and you want to pre-sale, if it's hyped, you're just going to miss out 95 times out of 100. And remember, we want more people coming into the space. We don't want us to feed the people here that are looking at crypto Twitter for 16 hours a day. There's people that have real jobs and maybe they watch a video and then they want to jump into a raffle, but they can't because they have a real job and they can't just sit on their computer. So please use this. This is a smart approach. Solana airdrop protocols 1 week changes. So Fabiano, he's covering these and basically what's happening with the TVL. If the TVL goes up, this is a bullish sign. If it goes down, it's generally bearish, but it's not always the case. Like, prices can change. If price of Sol goes down 13%, well, then you're going to see it's gone down 13%. I guess probably what you want to see is total wallets increasing. Then there's a lot of demand. I mean, MarginFi has 258,000 wallets. I had no idea it had that many. And Drift, 137. Parcel, 140. Goodness gracious. Camino, 230,000. Meteora. Okay, I'm going to have a tutorial out on this real soon. Meteora is the best alpha that I can think of right now for people to use Meteora. However, it has a little bit of a steeper learning curve. That's why I've had to take time to make a decent tutorial. Zeta Markets, this is still, I guess you could say this is undervalued. It has not got the market share. It's harder to use in Drift. Drift raised 23 million. They've got 137,000 total wallets and 29 with 8.5 mil. But really, when you look at the TVL, that's where the big difference is. Some thoughts from Fabiano. TVL of Parcel is huge for a non-traditional DeFi protocol. Definitely not underfarmed anymore. So this is quite important. If you're going to go in with an LP position, you may want to do more than $1,000 because now you're going to be, I don't know, maybe top 10,000 or top 50,000 of people accumulating points. Drift has more than 130,000 wallets. Only 30% are traders. I see a lot of potential here. Same for Zeta. I think Camino will cook harder than MarginFi. I agree with this, but I don't want to throw any shade to MarginFi, but I do agree with this. Meteora reached the mainstream of Web3. Watch my tutorial maybe later today or tomorrow. And Solana DeFi TVL all-time high was 9 billion. There is so much more potential. This is correct. This is back in 2021. However, so many things were being double counted and triple counted. So maybe the TVL was actually like 3.5, 4 billion. Either way, it's definitely going to go to 10 billion this cycle, if not more, without even double counting. Genuine Articles has a thread on why 2024 will be the year of the geckos. I do not own any of these. I know some of my friends do. Topo does. HFP does. And I don't. If I had quite a bit of soul, maybe I'd get some of these. I do think Genuine Articles is a pure legit founder. BANX and their tokenomics. Now, I do like BANX, have one. If you own a BANX, you actually have to like stake it and then subscribe weekly to claim points. I've never done that once. I've only staked it. I didn't realize about the subscription thing. Now I have to work out which wallet's in and go from there. So remember just to organize your wallets based on where things should be, as opposed to what I've done with that mistake there. So DupeDAO want to know the best thing about BANX launching on LFG. Over 40% of supply will be circulating on launch at 6 million market cap, 15 million fully diluted valuation. Team has generated 3.3 million in revenue to date. 100% of revenue will be shared with stakers via BANX buybacks. Bullish yet. And if you want to read their LFG application, you can go and have a read of it right here. Also remember to sign up so you've got an account here so you can actually comment down the bottom with any feedback you may have, or if you're bullish, bearish, or whatever, and you can give it some love here as well. Right now, Sharky has 4x farming points if you're into NFTFi, which is really cool. Also, did you know that using texture is the easiest way to farm Sharky 5 points and also farm pixels for our upcoming major announcement? Go use our aggregator and thank us later. They're not getting as much love at the moment. Now, what I'm about to say is not a true comparison, but remember that Dupe is an aggregator. And Textify, this is an aggregator. So sometimes being an aggregator is fantastic. You don't really see any value. You don't see how it could have a token or anything like that. Like Dupe, in the early days, people didn't know how it was going to generate income. I remember the initial way it was going to generate income never actually happened. And now they've got plenty of income. So with Texture, they're an aggregator. They're not going to have any income there. But from there, they can pull in new users, and then they can launch some things that actually create income. So go try them out. If you're going to Ethdenver, there will be a little bit of Solana Foundation presence there, maybe to try and convince some people to build on both chains, which would be really cool. And now there's been a few people in my DMs and in Discord just tagging me about Adrastea Finance. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of information. I will make a full large video on it. But for right now, if you want the TLDR, go follow them on Twitter and go and join the Discord and work on getting yourself a whitelist spot. I don't know how you're going to have to do it. You'll just ask them. But basically, Adrastea, I didn't know what it meant, but it's one of the moons of Jupiter. Now this relates to JLP, and anything that's legitimate and doesn't break, isn't exploited, etc., that relates to Jupe will do well, because it's a moon of Jupiter. It's pulling in liquidity, and if you can enhance your yield off that, you're in for a winner. So I covered this briefly, but I'm going to cover it a little bit more right now. We won't go over the roadmap, but I guess we could just touch on it very quickly. Pre-seed November, December. I didn't jump in on this. I skipped it. I didn't understand some things. I understand them quite a bit better now. And incentivized beta. This is in March. This is what you need whitelist for. Public sale and TGE April, and then rewards missions starts, and then just profit. We'll go with profit, not financial advice, of course. 230K was raised, and Dead King Society, that was one of the places that put in some money. Okay, so building right now, fantastic. Focusing on community, internal testing, and audit. I haven't played or haven't been shown or anything. I can probably ask to be shown and then go from there. But right now, I think all you need to do is just go and grab yourself whitelist beta access. March, incentivized beta. So it's rolling out its incentivized beta, and you need that roll. Then April, public sale and TGE, and then rewards missions, and so on. So what is Adrastea? We all know what JLP is, or at least we should know what JLP is. But basically, JLP is a token that's used to represent the liquidity that is actually in the perps DEX of Dupe. And then 70% of all of the perps DEX fees go straight into this. So earlier I just mentioned about Basket and how it's like an ETF of 30 plus tokens. Well, this is kind of like an ETF of 5 tokens, as well as it actually gets fees all the time. So price appreciation, you get that value, and fees, you get that value. So at the moment, the APY is 160% or thereabouts. Now, of course, this can go up or down. And if more people are using the perps DEX, great. I do think this will do better and better and better. And this API will actually grow. And they only have 5 tokens right now. Maybe they have more in the future. Or maybe, hopefully, maybe they have like a JLP pool. And these are like the premier tokens. And they have like a JLP2 pool. Or maybe they've got just a JLP pool and then they've got another system similar to how Drift does it, which would probably be better. But we won't go into all that. Anyway, so you take this JLP token. Great, we understand that. And then Adrastea has some vaults. So there's the Adrastea USDC vault, which is transparent USDC real yield, and the Adrastea JLP vault, which is leverage on the underlying JLP rewards. So how's this done? Users deposit USDC into this vault or JLP into this vault. The Adrastea USDC vault lends your USDC to mint JLP, thus providing leverage on its position. So you take one section which has all this USDC and you're lending it to the protocol at some sort of rate. It then buys JLP. It says mint JLP, but it's just buying JLP. And then that JLP is, of course, earning yield. So let's say the protocol has $1 million worth of USDC. $1 million, easy peasy. And then they lend it out, and maybe that's earning 15% yield. Could be higher, could be lower. And then from there, they go and mint JLP based on some sort of algorithm or whatnot. That JLP is then earning 160%, and that yield is sustainable as long as the price of JLP doesn't go down. Let's see if this visual does it better than my explanation. User, good, USDC, JLP, into this vault. This goes into this vault. This goes into the JLP pool. JLP yield goes here and here. I think I can explain it better, but I think you get the gist. Now, of course, there's a vault risk if the price of JLP goes down, in which case it would kind of need to deleverage a little bit, but this is normal. So there's a rebalance factor here, and then they have some sort of algorithm to work out where should the yield be. On top of all this, they have the ADRA token. So this is a native token of Adrastea Finance. It will be used for governance, and DAO can vote on utility. The actionable is very simple. Follow them on Twitter, go join their Discord, work out what you have to do to get a whitelist spot. The thesis is simple. Dupe is here. If you're here around the edge, providing value, you'll get value back. And this is what I think Adrastea is after. Anyway, that's all for today. Remember, later today or maybe tomorrow, I'll have a video tutorial out on DYOR. So that's your other takeaway. Make sure you watch that. Stay curious, and we'll catch you in the next video.